During World War II, naval operations weren't just battles of ships and weapons. They were contests of endurance, survival, and resourcefulness. Sailors and coastguards often faced long stretches at sea with limited supplies, unpredictable weather, and the constant threat of enemy action. Fresh water was one of the most precious resources, and losing it could mean disaster within hours or days. It was in this desperate context that coastguards developed a little-known, highly effective water trick, something so practical that it allowed small crews to extend their survival far beyond the normal limits, all while avoiding the dangers of scavenging or ration mismanagement. This method wasn't taught broadly, and for good reason. It gave a tactical advantage. Knowing how to generate or preserve potable water in the open sea could determine who survived a storm, a prolonged patrol, or a shipwreck. For modern survivalists, sailors, and history enthusiasts, the technique is still astonishingly relevant, and understanding it offers a window into wartime ingenuity that few civilians have ever seen. The trick worked because it leveraged simple physics to purify seawater quickly and reliably. The core of the Coastguard water trick was deceptively straightforward. Convert seawater into drinkable water without requiring complex equipment. At first glance, seawater seems impossible to use safely. Boiling works, but on a small boat or life raft, fuel is limited, and bringing water to a rolling boil on a pitching deck is dangerous. Filtering through cloth removes debris, but not salt. The innovation the coastguards discovered relied on controlled condensation and heat transfer. By using readily available materials, metal containers, canvas, or even improvised tarps, they could create a mini distillation system. The seawater was heated just enough to evaporate, and the resulting steam was guided into a clean collection container where it condensed back into fresh water. The genius lay in controlling the temperature and airflow so that evaporation was rapid, condensation complete, and the process safe even in stormy seas. This technique allowed a small crew to generate enough water for drinking and cooking without leaving their vessel or using excessive fuel. The method also preserved precious minerals while removing harmful salt. You know, modern desalination often strips water of its natural minerals, but the Coastguard trick balanced safety and palatability. By controlling the temperature, the system prevented minerals essential for hydration from being lost, while still removing the dangerous sodium chloride that makes seawater toxic. Sailors reported that the distilled water tasted bland at first, but over time they developed simple methods to remineralize it using collected rainwater, small amounts of kelp, or even dissolved ration supplements. This balance wasn't accidental. Coastguard engineers observed carefully that water from direct boiling or simple filtration either left residual salt or, well, scalded hands when handled. By designing their improvised condensers with sloped surfaces, reflective covers, and protective channels, they could extract pure water efficiently while keeping the system practical for small crews and unstable conditions. One of the most impressive aspects of this World War II innovation was, honestly, its portability. Crews didn't have to install massive equipment or dedicate their entire deck to water production. Using just a small metal pot, a clean canvas or tarp, and a secondary collection container, they could set up a fully functional desalination unit on nearly any vessel. The metal pot could actually be heated over a small stove, a candle, or even a compact oil lamp, and the canvas funnel would direct condensation right into a drinking container. Even in storms, the system remained, well, surprisingly resilient. Sailors learned to weigh down tarps, secure collection vessels, and stabilize heating sources so that motion didn't disrupt condensation. The method was also, remarkably fuel efficient. By keeping the water just below boiling point, they reduced evaporation losses and extended the life of their fuel supply, which was absolutely crucial during extended patrols or stranded scenarios. Recreating the World War II Coastguard trick today doesn't require any specialized gear at all. A small camping stove or even a portable alcohol burner can heat seawater safely. Just use a heat-proof metal pot or bowl to contain the water, and a clean tarp, plastic sheet, or even a reflective emergency blanket to guide condensation into a secondary container. The key here is to maintain a slight incline so that steam naturally travels and condenses without dripping back into the saltwater source. For longer journeys or survival scenarios, you can scale the system by using multiple containers in parallel or layering collection surfaces to really maximize condensation. Even a small setup can produce a litre or two of fresh water per hour, which is, enough to sustain a crew or maintain hydration during emergencies. Safety remains paramount. Always ensure that the collection container is clean, avoid contamination from soot or chemicals, and, supervise heat sources carefully on unstable surfaces. This World War II Coast Guard water method is more than just a survival hack. It's honestly a lesson in human ingenuity. Faced with extreme conditions, limited resources, and the constant threat of danger, small crews developed a system that extended their operational capabilities and saved lives. It wasn't flashy or high-tech, but it worked when conventional solutions failed. For anyone interested in survival, sailing, or historical fieldcraft, this trick offers practical insights into how simple principles, evaporation, condensation, and controlled heat, can, solve life or death problems. By understanding and practicing these methods today, you can gain the same edge that wartime coastguards relied on decades ago. If you want more forgotten survival methods, historically proven techniques, and practical guides for off-grid and maritime preparedness, make sure to subscribe to Backyard Wisdom and, share this video with friends who appreciate history, ingenuity, and real-world skill.